just to review, what we're going to do is we're going to take exam 79. So does everyone have, which would be volume 6? Nobody have it? Under penalty of death. So we're going to take the 3 sections. At 11:30, we expect Michael to come in, Michael Chen. Again, Michael will speak with you, I imagine, for 20 minutes or so. After which, we'll come back and go over this. Just wait for Ross to come back. And so anybody have any news? Anything exciting? You have lives? Nothing? Oh, you will be fine on the 16th. That's the day where I am compelled to attend my daughter's wedding. Andrina will come in here and proctor, so you'll take a full test on the 16th. And I'll let you know in advance what test that is. But Andrina will come in and proctor it, so you'll be all set. You'll take 5 sections, the whole 9 yards. Okay. Yes?
Can I write this book? Or do you want to like separate?
You may. That book is yours to have, to hold, just in keeping with the theme of the wedding. Absolutely. You all right now? You back?
Good.
All right. Does anybody need 5 minutes? Talk to me.
I need to get my,
I'm sorry?
I need to get my reading glasses for my car, so.
Well, why don't you do that? You need those for your test, right? Do you need the reading glasses for the test?
Yeah, I need to.
Well, go get them.
Okay.
We'll live.
Okay.
Does anybody not want Ed to have his reading glasses? We can say no. You know, if you go out the window, it'd be faster. We might have like a rattling rope or something. Well, come on, you must have some questions. Comments, desperate pleas for help.
That will happen for your guidance.
It's great stuff. I'm saying, you just wrap your mind around this test and be patient.
Peter, after we're done with the test, would you go over these strengthening questions?
Can I go over the what?
The strengthening questions.
If you remind me, and what you'll do is we'll be taking one logical reasoning section, and when we're done, you'll raise your hand, and I'll say, Emil, and you'll say, strengthening questions, and then we'll do that.
Professor.
Oh, there's no reason to insult me. Do you really like anybody who goes by the moniker professor? Do you really like them? I know you may have to agree with them, but haven't you found that a lot of people who take that title have their heads up their asses? I mean, is it just me, or?
No, I've had down-to-earth professors.
So, yeah.
On the actual test, if we can't finish the 4 reading comprehensions, if we get finish 3, we can still barely pass.
Run that by me one more time?
We can just finish 3 reading comprehension sections, and we'll be okay with the test.
It depends what your goal is. So what you're doing is you're coming to what are you trying to achieve? So if you're using this process, right, you say, what am I trying to achieve? What conclusion do I want to realize? That hasn't happened yet, right? But you go ahead. So you have to reflect on, so if my goal were to attend Torah, and if my goal were to receive scholarship money, say I really wanted to get something substantial. Yeah. So let's say I wanted to get, and again, I don't want to, I have to be humble. I have to realize that I can only do what I can do. Even with the greatest effort, I can only achieve what God's going to let me achieve. But if I were to say, and again, I don't speak for any school, but if my GPA were about a 3.2, 3.3, if that's where I was, and I was looking at $50,000 a year tuition, and I say, I would really need, just to even say yes, I would need, say, 25 grand. Well, that number would probably do the trick, right? And again, this question is asked Michael when he comes in. Now, Michael's not going to give you a specific number, but he can certainly give you a more informed view. So I'm saying, so what does that mean? Because now that's my objective. And I want to exceed my objective, right? But that's where I'm heading, at a minimum. And so to get a 154, I need to get a 63. And now I look at the 4 sections, right? And I say, okay, so I've got logical, I've got analytical, I've got reading comp, and what I want here is a 63. And I've got time. So wherever I am now, that's a base that I can build on. Well, it kind of suggested a 63 here. You would be equal to or greater than 30, right? There's going to be 50 questions here, right? But if your goal is to get 63, it would be, I'm saying if you knock this down to 27, then you're knocking those 2 categories way up. So now, if you're saying you want to do 3 reading comp passages, well, 3 reading comp passages, you're going to max out, say at or about an 18, maybe a 19, right? So let's go with 19. Well, even 20, because it's to 27, so let's go up to 20.
That's analytical.
Oh. Thanks for nothing. So you start here at 20, right? And you say, well, the whole thing is, how do I get to that 63? I want to exceed it, right? But how do I get there? And if I only do 3 passages, I don't expect to get everything right. So I have to be practicing. When you do 3 passages, are you getting 75% right? Or are you getting 80% right? What's the return on your investment? So if by doing 3, then you're ignoring the 4th one, so you get to reinvest that time, right? Now, if you get 80% here, well, then you have 16, right? And if you're getting 80%, now you're still guessing on 7, you're going to get 1 or 2 more right. So on an 80% return on your investment, this now becomes 17, and now you have the 30, and now you're at analytical, and you say, well, what do I have? I have banked 47, right? So that means I'm, 16 short. So that would call for the 16 analytical. And you get to adjust all this, right? You get, you move that up 1 each section, and that goes up to a 32, and that 32 can now bring this down to a 14, right? Which now allows you here, again, if you do 3 of the analytical hypotheticals, then you're shooting here with 3, about 17 or 18, right? So you do that same analysis. What's the percent I can get right? I'm going to give myself extra time. And you just stick at it. And it's hard. you know, the 58 or 59 is the median score. That's the median score in the test. So, yeah, it's really because it's psychometric, it's really interesting that somebody can create, like people can create a test and distribute it nationally and come up with, when all is said and done, if 100,000 people take this test, 50,001 will score 59 or lower. I mean, it's really, because it's kind of a low score. I mean, it's not. Yeah.
But with those scores, you can't get a lot of scholarships.
Well, when you say a lot, it's going to depend on a bunch of factors, kiddo. In other words, when I'm doing this, the 154 thing, I'm not taking into account minority status. I'm not taking into account information that appears on a personal statement that impacts the reviewer. But a 154 for a minority app, and a minority app is really anybody who just doesn't look like me. The median score, and again, I don't have the recent numbers, but the numbers, I don't have no reason to believe they've changed. The median score for a minority candidate on the LSAT is going to be about a 144.
But would that still be a scholarship to get 144?
That means you're not going to law school.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying to you is the median score of somebody who looks like me is going to be about a 153. Right. So when law schools bring in an entering class, they want diversity. They want the community that they're in to be reflected in the students that attend. Kabish? So a 154, if you look like me, you're slightly above the median. A 154, if you look like most of the people in this room, then you're about 10 points above the median. Kabish? So the school is going to compete aggressively, really aggressively, for the minority candidate. They're certainly not going to ignore the non-minority candidate, but they're going, because it's really rare. And nobody knows why. Nobody knows why. So, if you set that as a benchmark, and you can come close to achieving that, you're going to be fine. You'll be fine. But it's not easy to achieve that.
I know.
Yeah, no, that's right. You got to keep working at this. Yeah, Justin.
I started taking some of the online practice tests with Khan Academy, just because I want time with like a screen instead of the pages, like the
Yeah, that's fine,
different
sure.
format.
Yep.
And I've noticed, especially in logical reasoning, my performance has like gone down from the screen. Something about not being able to mark it and like touch it has like affected the way I read it.
That you keep working on that format.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make a difference. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
You know, some people's scores go up, some people's scores go down. They did not give this, in my view, they did not give this an adequate introduction. They just didn't.
And there's no way to like request a written format, right?
Well, you can. So yeah, I mean, they have to give the written format to someone who has a disability that would make the screen something they simply can't work with. But in the absence of some proven disability, but you know what? All they can do is say no.
I'm very sick man.
All right. So, okay, so are we all set?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. We'll start now. And we're going to do 3 35-minute sections.